Aix-en-Provence, or as the locals call it, simply Aix, is so beautiful that its streets are lined with golden yellow mansions and shaded by beautiful bright green trees. It is so inspirational that Paul Cézanne did most of his masterpieces here. And it is so sweet that it even has its own candy named for its favorite king. Bienvenue à Aix-en-Provence.
This is the picture-perfect, elegant Cour Mirabeau, a kind of the Champs-Élysées of Aix. What you see today is thanks to a massive city redesign in the 19th century, but Aix's roots go much, much deeper. So let's stroll to the end of Cour Mirabeau to the Place de la Rotonde to find out why Aix is known as the City of 1,000 Fountains.
This is the largest and perhaps most important fountain in the city, the Fontaine de la Rotonde. It is a symbol of the tearing down of the old walls and the building of a new entrance to the city. At the very top, we have three very important ladies. We have the fine arts facing towards Avignon, we have commerce and agriculture facing towards Marseille, and then we have justice looking straight into the heart of Aix. But perhaps the bigger picture is the bigger statement. All this plentiful water here in this giant supersized fountain is also a tribute to Aix's Roman roots, because of course, it was the Romans who created the water system. And did you know that Aix actually translates to water?
Yep. Aix is an old Provençal word, which comes from the Latin aqua, meaning water, of course. And those Latin and Roman roots flow plentifully here in Aix. Around 122 BC, the Romans decided that Aix was a pretty nice place to live because of the natural springs here. So for hundreds of years, simple fountains and wells were used for drinking water. Until finally, in the 17th century, gorgeous fountain sculptures were built, giving the nickname of the City of 1,000 Fountains. While there may not be exactly 1,000, each fountain has its own theme, some with curious symbolism, others telling a curious history. Like this one at the opposite end of Cour Mirabeau.
This fountain is dedicated to a duke, a count, and a king. But you only see one person, right? Well, this was a very special leader who was all three. In fact, a beloved leader of the region, known as Good King René. In fact, the king was known for bringing prosperity to the region, which is why he is holding in his left hand a wreath of flowers and grapes to show the wealth and the bounty that he brought here. But there's something quite curious about this fountain as well. If you look up and see his beautiful chiseled face, you might think, oh, Good King René was such a handsome guy. But apparently, according to legend, it was decided that he wasn't handsome at all. In fact, they had to use a model for his own sculpture. That is not very nice.
From history to mythology, there is one more fountain I want to show you. And if you follow Rue Cardinal, you will find some cute little creatures pointing in 4 precise directions.
In the center of the Mazarin district, which we will learn about later, is this beautiful fountain, the Fontaine des Quatre Dauphins, or the Fountain of the Four Dolphins. Now, of course, since it was built in 1655, you might think that these dolphins look a bit more like fish, but we're gonna let that go, because that is not the most curious thing about this. Each of the 4 dolphins represent one of the 4 cardinal directions. So we have north, south, east, and west. And then as you look up, you can see what the dolphins are sort of protecting. It is an Egyptian obelisk. And then way up at the top, you will see something quite unusual. It is a pine cone. And in fact, that's not the only pine cone you can see around here. You can see them dotted all here around you. Now, the pine cone has been a symbol in everything from Egyptian mythology to Christianity. That is a lot of symbolism for a roundabout.